The substation below our apartment started making a strange sound today. Today's Thursday, spring equinox actually, which is why I make a note of it. When Carol stepped out onto the balcony, the noise stopped. This happened 2 more times, meaning the noise started and then stopped when Carol went out onto the balcony. I mean, she may have waved her hands in the air one or more of the times, but I can't remember for sure. That was some hours ago. How I know it is spring equinox is we made a video yesterday, also on the balcony incidentally, of us saying, Happy Equinox. We made the video yesterday and not today, which is the actual equinox because it was sunny yesterday, and I looked, more like we thought the spring equinox should look. We knew today would be gray because we looked it up on our phones. So the video appears authentic, but it is actually fake. And it's hard not to wonder if the noise from the substation is connected in any way to this contrivance on our parts. When the noise started again, and that was some time ago, and the logical thing to do, obviously, would be to go get Carol and have her wave her arms again, but Carol's not here. She's somewhere else in the apartment. When she left to go somewhere else in the apartment, she told me, do not disturb her for at least 5 hours under any circumstance. Next thing I did, obviously, was I went out on the balcony alone. Nothing happened. I waved my arms and everything. I must have waved them for 10 minutes straight. So, what issue does the substation have with me that it doesn't have with Carol? What have I done? The substation has made strange noises before. In fact, much, much stranger noises than this. When we first moved into the apartment, it was summer, and the substation made such a strange, I would say even hellish noise that I had an emotional breakdown right here in the apartment. We contacted all of our sound designer friends for advice. They told us about various padding we could get for the walls. They told us about outdoor forest systems. We got some wind chimes, which made the problem worse by every now and then drawing more attention to the hellish noise. I'm just saying all this to establish that this is not my first rodeo with a substation. And also, that noise was not this noise. That noise was way worse than this noise. I'll be the first to acknowledge that. That noise was hellish, and this noise is not. It's just that one can't help thinking the more that this noise goes on, that it will inevitably turn into that noise. Carol says it won't. How can she tell? Work, she says. She can tell that it's clearly the sound of work being done, which means it's temporary. It's temporary for her. She just waves her arms. She wasn't even bothered much by the first noise. She heard it. It just wasn't in my head or anything, but it didn't bother her. She said, I don't really notice it. What have you noticed in your whole goddamn life? I screamed. Me, she said. She noticed me. Once, I said. You noticed me once. But what about now? I was dramatic that night. I reminded Carol about the day before she went into hiding this morning. She was wearing the same green shirt she was wearing that day, which was what made me notice it. I told her, remember the original noise, Carol? Remember what happened to me? We don't want that to happen again. And she hugged me and said, the mist this morning makes mountains under the mountains. My God. I mean, I know she's working on poetry, but it's like she's in the room back there pretending we live someplace entirely different, a place with mountains and mist. Of course she's not bothered. Good for you, I said. Good for you and your poems. What am I supposed to do? And she said I should try to practice some monologues, and then she left. A monologue? Gotta be fucking kidding. I couldn't remember a monologue with this noise if I had a gun to my head. And even if I could, I'm not that dumb. I know what would happen. As soon as I got a single line out, bam, that's when it would pounce. Louder than ever. Not a fucking chance. She did have that same shirt on. I swear it was the same one. She wore it that night, and the noise started. She wore it today, and it started again. Oh, my God. It had sweat stains in the pits that night. Maybe it still does. I could go look, barge into her bathroom there and say, look, your shirt has pit stains just like that night, remember? It's the same shirt, I know it is. It was hot in the apartment, we didn't have the AC installed yet, so you flung that exact shirt you're wearing now off and pranced around in your sports bra to cheer me up, remember? And we drank a bottle of warm wine and had cheese from a cooler and sang songs at the top of our lungs till we passed out on the empty floor at 3 a.m. Do you remember that? You sang so loud you said the noise wouldn't stand a chance. And when we woke up, the sun was bouncing off the East River, burning hot. And it was the quietest morning I've ever known in my life.